I love you so long as you love me. That's called business love. So first of all, I would like to greet all of you once again by saying Tashi Delek. Whenever I give talk, I always play it with these words, these phrases that we exchange towards each other all the time, Tashi Delek. Then when we meet each other, everybody says good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Nobody says bad morning, bad afternoon, bad evening, right? Then similarly, we all try to get a good name, Tashi, Thundu, or Ram, or Mary, or whatever, all the good names. Nobody takes a name which is called ghost or evil force or so the teaching starts from there. Because it's not enough just to get a good name, it's not enough just to say good morning. You need to try to live a life which is befitting the name. And also live the whole morning, having said good morning, make sure that the morning is really good. That's important. And that's why I especially very often choose these topics like this one, which is a little bit easy to understand, but which also makes people to think. Wherever I go, more or less, I say the same thing. I'm not an entertainer to say different things. So my question is, do you all want happiness? Right? Yes. So we need to sign a pact here, So you all said you want happiness, right? My next question is, if you want happiness, for how many days you want happiness? Huh? Exactly. Greedy as we are. I really think I can talk a little bit profound and deep, a little bit also. But I think we need to start from the basic reality that we want happiness. I'm not talking about religion right now. I'm not talking about Buddhism. I'm talking about the basic thing. We want happiness. And also we want happiness as long as possible. Now this wish to have happiness on the one hand, and also wish to have happiness as long as possible, is not necessarily something that you learned from your religion. It's also not necessarily something that your parents taught you, you learned from your parents. I don't think so. You are born like that. You are born like that. The first thing that the child does after the birth is what? Laughing or crying? Huh? Crying. Have you seen anybody? First thing is laughing? No? See, there you are. So the first thing that the child, whether Tibetan or Chinese or American, the first thing that the child does after the birth is crying. Of course, apart from crying, what could the child do? Because he don't speak any language. Forget about second language. There's no language at all. The language is only crying. So by crying, what do you think the child is asking? The first thing that the child, by crying, the child is asking something, but it is, I think, 100% sure that the child is not asking for a long discourse on Buddhism or any religion. The child is asking for somebody's, you said attention. So the child is asking for somebody's attention, in the sense the child is asking for somebody's love, and that love also unconditional love. I'm emphasizing on this point because later on we grow up, then we again share love with each other, but that kind of love is a little bit calculating and a little bit business love. I love you so long as you love me. That's called business love. But the child at that time has nothing to give back. No hair on the head, no teeth in the mouth, no clothes on the body, knows nobody, right? So at that time, the most important thing the child needed was not religion, unconditional love. So I'm emphasizing this point because we have this tendency, especially later on when we get some kind of knowledge, intellectual education, then we have this tendency to go for the second and the third, not the most fundamental important thing, but we go for the second, which religion you belong to, which country you belong to. We go for the second, which is less important. What is most important is, as His Holiness the Dalai Lama calls, universal ethics. A way of life which doesn't make any distinction in terms of which country you belong to, which religion you profess, but as a human being, wanting happiness, not wanting suffering. That is the basic, the most important thing. Now this point is so important because so long as you have this understanding in your relation with anybody, that this person, that woman, this man, exactly like me, wanting happiness, not wanting suffering. If you look to other people with this kind of perception, with this view, that will be a very, very powerful uniting factor, a very, very important factor for harmony, love and so forth. So that I think is extremely, extremely important.